after that, this morning, scheduled for 11:15, the Housing and Conservation Board is coming in. That's an annual visit that they have here just to update us on the work they're doing. An opportunity to see whether there's more that we want to know about their work. We can have them back in to go into detail on anything that seems like
That's so it's 11:20.
that's this morning.
Okay.
Yeah. And then after lunch, we've got the agency coming in just to give us a preview of our trip down to Randolph next week. And then if we need to go back to this, depending on how far we get on this morning, we need to wrap this up today. Also wanted to see whether anybody wanted to chat about anything else. So we've got sort of open committee discussion time. We have a couple more bills that have come in.
I heard that there's a new version of the rodenticide bill with a lot more details to it that Larry just sent in.
Yeah, that's on the wall now.
Sakowitz.
Is short form bills still eligible?
Yeah, short form bills are still fair game. Yep. Patricia, would you mind getting the door?
I'll fight over.
The union job.
Try to any excuse to stand up, walk around.
Yeah.
All right, so everyone has a copy and it's just also on our webpage today. Patricia should probably post that. Yeah, thank you. The topic is reports repeal bill, and you'll see that by statute, the General Assembly recently, not sure what year it was, established an intent to repeal certain requirements after 5 years, reporting requirements. And the law requires Legislative Council to prepare a list of the reports that are subject to repeal each biennium. And you can read that section of statute if you want to. We then received a list on that second page printed. Reports that are under our jurisdiction that are subject to that repeal. If the report requirement, and this is important, I think, if the report requirement is repealed, the information contained in the report will remain available to committees pursuant to committee requests. There should be no reduction in accountability from any state agency. So in other words, repealing the report requirement isn't intended to mean that we're asking for any less, accountability. Just wouldn't be in a report form necessarily. So the question is whether the required ongoing report is necessary for the legislative work. Eliminating unnecessary ongoing reports will allow agency staff to redirect their efforts to more substantive work.
So for example, yesterday, if we said to Farm to Plate, since they're obligated to report every year, right, to us, if we said, we're repealing that, but then beginning of each session, we're like, we want you to let us know what you've been doing last year.
Yeah.
So that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that one's on the list here.
No, but just as an example.
Yeah.
We would get the same information if we requested it essentially, but
Yeah.
they're not obligated to proactively.
Put it into a report, yeah.
Yeah.
I think that their report is unusual in its depth and, how much effort they put into it. And I suspect that they want to continue to do that work, that they're not probably upset about having to do it at all.
I think any group that's asking this body for money should report back to us when they're, the next year to let us know what they did with the money.
Let me just finish reading through the memo and then we can look at the reports. So we suggest the question for each committee is, have you used, and will you need to use these reports in legislative decisions? Please review the spreadsheet, identify the reports that you still need. And then basically there's three different, it's like green, yellow, red, options for them. So if we don't need it anymore, we definitely need it. Might be useful, so hang on to it for now. And we have to turn this, we have to respond by the end of the day today.
Till today, huh?
And to be fair, I did this, you'll see that this is dated November 24th. I think that was maybe not necessarily Thanksgiving Day, but I wasn't quite clued into the kind of email at the time. And then it got buried, and then somebody reminded all of us recently that we needed to do this. So really clear on what we're being asked to do anyway. And I will say that we haven't had a chance to look at most of these reports this year. We did have Ledge Council come in and go through a list of the reports that are due. Some of them are on here and some of them aren't. These are the ones that they've asked us to focus on.
And all reports due in statute, right? I mean, they're statutorily required. right?
Yes, these would all be ones that are statutorily required. And they're asking, do we want that to continue? So, I mean, I think without even having gone over the list, I would say I would tend to err on the side of let's not stop getting the reports. But also, I appreciate the sentiment here. I mean, the legislative intent was let's not be asking for busy work or work that isn't going to be helpful to us. So that's the context.
Does it work in the reverse too, that during our year here, if we had an organization we don't get a report from or want to hear from, would we have to statutorily say we like a report? Or could we just request one?
If it's not already required,
Yeah,
we, I think, could in most cases ask. And I imagine in most cases, the agency would be willing to do its best to get what we asked for. Often the statute is pretty detailed on what's supposed to be in the report. So that might just be helpful to have it sort of detailed that way.
Okay.
I will say that, well, let's go through the list. Let's go through the list here.
This is,
yeah, the last one and the third to last one are curious, that they seem almost identical.
There's one on the other page. Yep, flip the page over.
Patricia, do you have this posted?
Just putting it up now, the
Okay.
only problem with the titles.
Okay, thank you.
I have to redo it. Think.
So it's quite small, yeah. The format here is on the left-hand column, that's where the citation, so that's where in statute the report is called for. If it was amended, who's supposed to be preparing it from, who it's supposed to be going to. And there you can see that in most cases, these reports aren't just going to us, they're going to other people. So unless we all, I guess, agree that we don't need it anymore, it will keep happening. So, report of the Dairy Promotion Council.
They hate sharing that information. That is Vermont Dairy Farmers' own money. I'm just telling you what I know. And they say, why are they concerned what we're doing with our money? It just, that's the sentiment from them. I don't think we heard a report from them last year.
That booklet, that was from the agency.
Yeah,
That was
so-
the agency.
So the money is withdrawn from the milk checks. 10 cents gets teleported into a fund. And then the Vermont Dairy Promotion Council, made up of farmers from the different co-ops and independents, get together and decide where the money goes.
We have
And
no jurisdiction over that.
we don't have any jurisdiction over that, but then they're supposed to report. The agency's supposed to come report to us where the money moved. I find it interesting. I don't know if the rest of you.
Well, they report to us, the Senate Ag and.
And,
Patricia, could you see if Bradley, sorry to interrupt, but you're trying to do that. Could you see if Bradley's available to come in either maybe at this point, I would say this afternoon, just to help us with some of this. This one, I remember you flagged it, I think, when he came in and we were walking through the list, that maybe we hadn't gotten it in a while. I guess I'd like to know when it was last submitted, and it's not clear from this that it was ever submitted. But I guess I'd be a little hesitant in any instance to say, yeah, we don't need that anymore, when it hasn't been done.
I'm just telling you where they're coming from. I would. And of course, when I learned about it last year, that's when I started we need to capture some of that money here in state to tell our own story, which led to the Monument Farms and Vermont Dairy Promotion Council and Vermont Dairy Producers Alliance all coming together to tell the Vermont agriculture story. Yeah. Well, unknowingly in the beginning. And then, because I didn't even know Jake was doing that at the time. And then it all came together. And in this case, it's more than just dairy, it's food. Episode 2 is a lot of different types of food, Macklin and with potatoes and farmers markets and everything else. It's really, and talks about buying local. And there's still, good chunk of dairy in that as well. But we're supposed to promote dairy. But in this instance, we're telling the Vermont farmer story, so we're not forgotten.
So does the Dairy Promotion Council essentially report to the agency and then it flows through them?
Yeah, the agency facilitates their meeting, and then the agency retains a percentage of this money to, they get paid a stipend, their lunches, their, the mileage, that's all done by Nicole Dubuque and Laura Ginsburg over there. And a couple of rock stars right there. And then they disperse the money for the VDPC. They send the money to New England Dairy, the Vermont Cheese Council, VDPA, 4-H got $25,000, I think $15,000 this year. So they disperse the money to the various organizations and receive back from those organizations the reports on how they spent the money. And that to me is more important than where the money goes, but it's how it's spent when it goes out. So what's New England Dairy doing with the money? My money.
Yeah.
And I've been told that not to worry about it. When my father served on the Dairy Promotion Council and was the rebel in the room, if you will. Yeah.
I know I
Who
can't.
decides how much goes into, how much has to come off of your,
It's federally set.
it's federally set.
It's 15 cents per 100. 5 cents goes to federal promotion. 10 cents comes back to the state.
The New England or the state?
It comes back to each state. And then, they have decided, and rightfully so, I guess, that, the majority of our milk is used in southern New England. So a lot of our advertising dollars are spent in Boston, Connecticut,
But Vermont Dairy provides the majority of the money.
57% of the money. Some comes, the next biggest share comes from New York.
Oh, are they part of the?
They're part of some New York, any milk that flows into New England.
Okay.
And so the New York Dairy Promotion Council.
Yeah.
Sends money to New England Dairy.
Why don't we keep going here and then, I mean, I
Are we
think,
looking for a consensus?
well, so,
On this, if we're going.
no, I think, well, let's go through them all, then we'll
Okay.
come back, but, I mean, sounds like this is something that we might want to talk about more, so I would say, I wouldn't want to get rid of it.
Yeah, I wouldn't, yeah, I think we need to hear a report from them.
Yeah, okay. The next one is state financial assistance awards for non-point source pollution programs. I think we should probably hear that one.
Very, very important.
Absolutely, anything we're doing for water quality.
That's from the agency. So.
What's the expires color mean?
Yeah.
So
question.
there's a sunset.
I don't know, but I will, that's something for Bradley, and we could pull up an example, but see if it says so in the statute. That date is there. Execution of the implementation plan for Lake Champlain TMDL.
Very important.
So that's due January 15th, and then every 4 years thereafter. So that's not coming in every year, that's once every 4 years. For what it's worth. Housing and Conservation Board, the board's activities and financing for the.
So is that today essentially what's happening?
I think that they have submitted something else in writing,
Okay.
and they may be referring to that report today. Let's ask them when they come in. Yeah, good opportunity. The Clean Water Board recommendations, allocation of funds from the Clean Water Fund. That seems pretty critical. Billions and millions of dollars there.
Mhm.
The Rural Economic Development Initiative, this is REDI, REDI, and I remember somebody,
Suspension recently.
yeah, somebody asked what that was. I can't remember the context though.
I think
They're
it was the
grants.
people, the Sustainable Jobs Fund people were here, but I don't remember what they were talking about.
Okay, was that yesterday you mean, or
I
like a
think.
couple, it came up a couple weeks ago too?
Before that.
Yeah, I think, did you ask John what that was?
Well, I remember emailing our grants manager and saying, what have we applied in Tunbridge for these ready grants?
Yeah, okay.
That was last year, I think.
And then the Farm Viability Enhancement Program, I'd like to look at that report.
Pretty wrong.
Activities in progress of the activities in progress of the Rural Economic Development Initiative.
And so why is that different, Dave, than the 1, 2 above it?
I don't know, but it's a different,
Report,
yeah,
but they were 2 weeks apart, same year, 2021. We said, we need a lot of reports.
yeah. Maybe they are the same and they're just a reference to Act 77 in the first line. And then there's a statutory reference down below, so maybe that's a mistake and I don't know.
Yeah.
And then the MOU, this one maybe could be repealed.
Because of the new,
That's what you're working on.
that's what we're working on now.
Yeah,
Do we repeal it now or do we wait till we get all that work done?
well, I'm kind of surprised that it's still here because I thought that maybe what we passed last year struck that language
There's
anyway.
no MOU anymore, right?
Yeah, I mean, you're creating something new.
We're creating something new. So right now, theoretically, there is an MOU. As of right now, still,
There is still.
yeah,
Oh, well, maybe.
but, until we finish.
Because there's this transition period between the MOU years and the
Mhm.
paper years.
That's what the fist fights are all about.
If anybody has a
Usually you-
device right now and wants to like look at one of these, we can sort of divide and conquer. There's a on the left-hand column there, you can, so everybody know how to look at the laws on our legislative website. So if you open up the General Assembly's webpage, at the top, there's a section, one of the options is Vermont laws. And I mean, you can Google things too, you can probably
Yeah.
do it that way just as easily, but This has all the laws, all the statutes, arranged by title. Kind of interesting to browse through.
Question,
Yeah,
how's natural resources, fish and wildlife? That's one of our committees.
It used to be.
Yeah, well, I've seen it a few times here and I'm not familiar with that committee.
it's no longer called that.
House environment.
It's the Environment Committee, yeah,
It is.
yeah. Yeah, so,
And they ought to at least change the name,
yeah,
among others.
whenever we change committee names, there's lots of references to statute to bills that are, or studies that have to go to the Agriculture Committee. Because it wasn't always called the Agriculture,
Well,
yeah,
It's been agriculture committee in 15 years.
yeah, yeah. And the Environment Committee was Energy and Environment for a little while.
it's by.
And then it was Natural Resources, I think, for that. And what is it called here? Fish, Wildlife, and Water Resources, so that's,
Natural resources, comma, fish and wildlife.
Natural resources and energy.
Used
Yeah.
to be just fish and wildlife.
Fish and Wildlife, yeah,
And there was an energy committee.
separate energy committee. Yeah. Okay, so we'll see if, anybody have any thoughts on these, like individually? Like any that you're looking at saying, let's look at that report?
I checked them all down to see them again, and then after we see them this year, or next year, we can decide whether we don't need to see that one again,
Yeah,
The extend part, right? That's what.
Yeah.
Awesome, yeah, I agree.
you know? Well, yeah, got them down to extent that it could be retained and then decide later.
so if you go also on our page, you can go to the Reports and Research tab. And then you can search through the reports. I'm doing that right now. I'm gonna look for Jerry promotion. Nothing, no results.
No,
The chair, you said go
There's
to the general assembly.
you can go to our committee page.
And that are keeping posted as we go along.
Okay.
I'm not sure if dairy promotions were.
Okay.
It's an ongoing process at the moment.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, well, I think what maybe I'm gonna suggest we do is take a break. We've got the Housing Conservation Board due at 11:15, so if anybody wants to go stretch, just let's get right back, because they usually have a lot of content.